It's the PG-DND Aftershow behind the screen.
All right, welcome to PG-DND Aftershow, where we talk about the session that we just had. We're talking about our episode 2. So, Matheson is not joining us. He had to leave early. However, everyone else is here. So what did y'all think? How was it?
That was freaking awesome.
I thought it was great. Yeah. I like that one a lot.
I know there wasn't any combat. I was a little worried about that. But
honestly, I think it was a good balance from the first session, because the first session was very combat heavy, and so I feel like this session allowed us to really get into our characters more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially me. I feel bad if I took up the limelight, but there was just so much opportunity for Theseus that I just had to seize it.
That's all right.
No, I think
sometimes
that was
it's
great.
gonna anchor towards you.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it anchors towards
that's
other
kind of how
people,
arcs
so.
goes. It'll be like, we'll focus on this person, and then this person, and this person, and that's just...
Yep.
It makes it
So it is. Yeah.
And depending on the situations, people's backstories will come out differently.
Yeah.
So, guys, what did you guys think of the situation with Apto and the Leonins?
Like I said, I think he's suspicious. That dude's sus.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
His answer to when I gave him the note, like, pretty much told me everything I was trying to glean.
Yeah, me too. That was a good idea, by the way.
Yeah, just like, I literally thought of it, like, because I knew he was going to be the last one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to ask him. I'm just going to write him a note that just says, like, something about being corrupt and, like, I see you type of a thing, and just see how he reacts to it. And I hurried and scribbled it down. I whispered in that that guard's ear that...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what did you whisper in his ear?
I said he's actually a writer of, like, legends and intense odysseys, and he's really just wanting you to be candid. He just wants you to be candid, so he's not being that upfront about who he writes for.
He's with Acros News today.
Pretty much
That
just
was
told
good.
him you're like a writer of legends, and then you were like, you were saying so much stuff like,
Alondros with Acros News today.
oh,
Give me the scoop.
the people are gonna love this, and all this stuff that, like, in my mind I was like, that's so perfect for what I told him.
You should definitely take on like this news reporter kind of thing, like the facade.
What did you think about today's battle? People would like to know.
How are you feeling?
It's like a sending stone.
Yeah,
You can
a sending
take recording.
stone.
You can take our autobiographies as we go.
Seriously.
No, but for real, going back to Apto and him just like shoving off the glory so easily, something was up instantly.
Yeah.
Right when that happened, I was like, no, he's one that would take credit for all the glory.
Right, but he's all like, oh no,
He's
you
like,
guys should.
You are the ones who did this.
Yeah.
Like, he almost
You
wants
should
it
be
to our
remembered.
fault.
He wants us to be remembered for the fall of a
Yes.
city
He
rather
much
than
so
the
said that.
glory.
He said,
A lot.
he said, it is your responsibility. You are responsible for this. And that's when I was like, dude. I was like, something's
He's setting
up
us
with
up
this
for a big failure. When they do something crazy, like, we're going to be like the people that are like, you ruined everything. You started all the
We
all
won't
of
be
it.
the Valiant anymore.
Yeah.
I think next session we just take him out.
Yeah,
If we all work together,
Yeah.
we can do it.
Yeah.
We could
Just
Yeah.
let me
Take
go
out-
one-on-one. Keep me alive.
Keep me alive, he says.
I attack. And run away. And I attack. And run away.
Healing word. Healing word. Healing word.
Run back to get, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we can totally
I
do
attack.
that. I have lay on hands. You have lay on hands. You can heal.
And I can
Yeah.
literally
Minimally.
attack. And because I attack, I can move.
You can move, and then
And then
you can't
bonus
do anything.
action dash away.
That's true. And then Reddit hit him.
Attack. And if I
That's
hit, I get sneak attack.
He just grabs you by the throat with his lion claws.
Yeah, I'm sure his speed is
He's like,
probably
enough of that.
higher than
Yeah.
30.
We'll just do it on a beach somewhere where the water
We
is.
just,
Yeah, go swim in the water.
Here's what we need to do. We need to buy some boots of haste.
Yes.
Okay?
Or some winged boots. Just fly away.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, there goes my entire plan for this campaign and podcast. So, I am no longer the DM or host, just a pass-by, just a bystander.
No, I love this session. This session was awesome. I
It's
feel
very
like
fun.
Yeah.
at least for me, I felt like I'm really starting to relate into Theseus, and I'm really starting to understand his goals, his aspirations, and what drives him. And I hope everybody else is also getting into their characters as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I was able to get more into character. And
Yours was
I
Yours is
awesome.
hilarious. I love
Yours
it.
is amazing.
You painted such a good image of your character's personality and like his mannerisms and stuff just by literally doing something like I pull out my own bar of
My own
soap,
personal
like,
soap.
instantly anybody can relate to like, oh, I know, dude, just
guy
like
goes
that.
The guy who goes to the gym and pulls out the Ziploc bag with the little soap
Exactly.
and like
The
doesn't
old
want to.
man.
Yeah, the old guy doesn't want to use the little
Hand
squirters that they have.
Yeah.
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 Oh, man.
That was awesome. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, even I'm feeling much more comfortable as well in my
Yeah, I'm
character.
getting there.
Yeah.
I really liked having the role play heavier session, so that like I said, so that way all of us, I think we're all getting a better feel
Yeah.
of our characters and how they are. I thought it was awesome.
And I'll try and balance it more in the future. Keeping our episodes the length that they are, sometimes it's difficult to have as much roleplay and fighting as I'd like in there, you know. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So
I kind of almost don't mind having them. Like, it's always fun to do roleplay and combat, but like I really enjoyed like last week. It was just like focus on combat.
Yeah, I thought it
And
was
it
cool
like
too.
helped all of us get to know our abilities and how terribly we can roll.
Some people specifically.
Yeah, some people specifically. I'm not going to name names.
Phineas,
I was on fire.
Connor.
And then this session,
Well,
I just love that it was very RP focused to
Yeah.
help us figure out that other aspect of it.
Also, something I would like to point out about this session, man, Jefferson, you were throwing some bombshells of like hard decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us were speechless throughout the episode just because of how, I don't know, intense and the intricacies of the situation is, you know, with finding out that they Aptos had was lying about the priests being armed and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know. Do we tell Faustus? Do
I
we
know,
not?
that's
There was a
like
lot
what
of
I was
situations
thinking, too.
like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like
They were
at a
tough.
loss for words because I was like, okay, I was not expecting this.
Yeah. No. Not at
And
all.
this is a brand new group that I'm with. It's like, how do I I have to say something, but how do I do it in the most
Characteristic way, like of your character.
characteristic way, but also not just like, hey, he's lying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
I
just
don't
like-
even know this dude.
Liar, liar.
I don't
pants
even
on
know
fire.
Faustus. You know him. I just literally met him. And it's like, so kudos to you for that, because that.
Thanks. I was worried that it was going to be too much. Because I don't want to railroad you guys either.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked about before we started this campaign about it being more of an Odyssey seafaring campaign. So I wanted a way to get you guys on the water quickly, while still pursuing a goal that you could kind of be free to make decisions how you want, right? Because like the idea is you're going to look for this character where you don't know where they are. You know what I mean? So you're going to kind of get the freedom of choice as far as sailing the seas and stuff.
I would absolutely say that it is not railroading, because I think you've done such a good job of setting it up, and I mean, at least this is how I feel. Maybe everyone else doesn't feel. I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel, but I'm excited. You've done such a well job at painting this campaign. I've gotten really excited about it, so I'm excited to leave.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I like that it's not even just like, there's so many different options and so many people that we met so quickly that it's like, okay, I kind of like this person. That person, not so much.
And I'm hoping those things, and that's I think another reason why I dropped so much and put you in those situations early is because a lot of these things will come up again later, right? Because they're not going to spend the entire time on the ocean, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you all die, right? Which, maybe.
But
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna die in a place, it's
It's gonna be ocean.
The freaking
well,
ocean.
we probably won't. But
Everyone
but
else.
you guys-
Yeah. No, but I don't know. My enjoyment of this comes in the storytelling, and so I also hope I wasn't too much like telling the story. You know what I mean? So, and I also love, as a dungeon master, testing players' characters in difficult situations, because I, as a character, like being in those moments, and because this is a creative storytelling joint effort, right? It's not just me creating a story that you guys are experiencing. We're all creating the story together.
Absolutely.
I enjoy putting those situations out there because then it will allow us all to create a story that may turn out differently than any of us might have expected based on decisions. Like you mentioned, you didn't have to tell Faustus about the Leonins lying. And I wondered if you guys would bring up in front of the council that the Leonins lied despite Faustus's warnings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually anticipated that you guys were going to do that. And I was originally planning that he would send you on the adventure to sort of distract from the fact that you guys had mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I didn't anticipate, a choice that you guys... I mean, it wasn't a wrong choice, you know what I mean? You guys trusted Faustus when he said, hey, we're supposed to keep this under wraps.
Yeah,
So...
I feel like, at least for my character, it was so out of his league that he was just like, can he be trusted to Theseus? And he was like, yes. And it was like, okay, then I'm not going to talk about it with anybody outside of this group. Because if he's to be trusted, he knows, even though he said, oh, I'm not political and this and that, he still knows more of the going-ons.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I knew that I know of the corruption in the place, that if we would have said anything, I assumed that's probably what would have happened. He just would have been like, oh no, like kind of when we told Faustus and Faustus was like, oh, it was a huge misunderstanding at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Plus, like, I kind of, and this is meta for everybody at the table, but I'm going to bring it up in next session. I want to see if I can, now that I've like planted that seed of like corruption sees corruption, I want to see if I can exploit that and almost like play the double agent, like get on his good side.
That was awesome.
See like how can I assist whatever you have going on.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it will be
We'll see.
interesting for sure. What was everybody's favorite part of the episode?
Role playing wise, I think the priests in the temple and all that situation.
Yeah.
I think that whole
I liked
situation.
when he fell out of the temple.
When who did?
Like at the beginning,
At the beginning when we were sitting
when he
outside
fell into
the
his
temple.
arms.
Oh yeah.
Fell into Theseus' arms.
Strong, muscular.
And then
As my biceps bulged, I held him dying in my hands.
My favorite part was watching the struggle for Zane's character, Theseus, in letting that priest go.
Yeah,
I was
like, he's gonna kill him,
Yeah,
and
I
then
thought
my
so
character's
too.
gonna have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
You're gonna
that
kill
was
him.
another moment where I was like, Theseus, I thought was going to kill him, or at least like, no, you have to stay with us until we see what happens, And so it took a lot.
Dude, I was thinking about like hog tying him and leaving him in a corner somewhere.
No, really, and I expected your character to do that as well, but it was interesting to see the way that you handled it.
Do you want to know where? Do you want to know why I did it?
Absolutely.
I thought to one of my traits, which is that I have. It's that I have no respect for people that are proven warriors. You know what I mean?
That are not
that
proven warriors.
that are not proven warriors. And it's not that I didn't have respect for him, but if I didn't give him a chance to defend himself at all, you know what I mean? Like, then there was no honor in it for me as well.
Gotcha.
Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
so there was like no honor in killing.
a person that's totally disarmed. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of it? I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to fight, then so be it. Then I would kill him. But I mean, he was just like help, and I was like,
Yeah, pretty much.
But I like your indifference with the help too. Like you didn't really care to help him either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that played also well into your character. Rather than choosing the darker side and to fight him or to kill him, you instead chose indifference which still leaned to the more brutalistic side of your character, but still had the ability to show restraint. You know what I mean?
I would have to say that my favorite part of the role playing session was definitely the interactions with Proteus.
Yeah.
For specific reasons. Stay tuned for the next future episodes.
No, that was fun. Do you have a favorite moment, Tyson?
I don't know. The things that we've talked about, I really liked. It was interesting to make, because I've never been one to just heal random NPCs. So I thought that was interesting.
That was a cool choice.
I was like, my character would probably do that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But I don't know. I liked the bathhouse. I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of fun.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good sequence.
But
It'll be interesting.
yeah, I did really like the interaction with Theseus and what's his face? Proteus. I really liked how personal things got quickly within this campaign. You know, sometimes it takes a while to have your characters like really have connections with people, and so I liked how just like quick it was, but it seemed very fluid. It was really awesome to kind of see that kind of pan out.
Dude, I was
not
literally
expecting
I've
that.
never gotten so into a character, like in how they would feel in that moment when I was like rolling to like make him grovel and I cast command on him. I was like shaking. I was like, I wanted it to happen so bad.
He rolled, to give you a peek behind the screen, he rolled 15 on the dice. And so yours
I
was
saw your
only,
hand shaking while you were like.
Your hand was only, I think your DC's only 11, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like, and to be honest, I'm not sure if I would have let him fail that roll.
That's fair.
Again,
That's fair.
as a DM, there's a bit of
And you know
discretion
what?
I get behind the screen. Again, for the sake of storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be, you know, I'm not going to kill you guys outright.
And I wasn't upset that it didn't happen. I
Right.
did want it to happen to have that control and power for specific reasons.
Yeah.
But I think now it just gives Theseus an even bigger motivator.
Right, and that's another reason why I did it. And it was, you know, narratively it was awesome. And I do think that it motivated you more and will help your character develop more, which I think is... That's what this is.
But-
That's what this podcast, that's what this journey, this campaign is going to be about. You know, if you look at the hero's journey, we're going to try and take each player and their character through the hero's journey, and hopefully by the end, have a
bunch of heroes.
cool
Oh,
story
yeah.
to tell.
I gotta give a shout out to Shay for very much, I don't know if she realizes it or not, but getting very much into her character, because you worship Thassa, correct? Who is the goddess of change. So when she was having that whole conversation with those little kids and talking about how change is good and it's a good thing,
I
It
should have given you piety for that, but
Absolutely, that was good. I didn't
even
know
catch that.
Yeah.
I did really like that sequence though, because it's not something that really happens a lot, but it feels real.
Yeah, it
you
makes
know,
the
it feels
world
like
more-
your character was there. Like,
Yeah.
it makes
you
the
know.
world more real instead of just like, oh, we're just like interacting with the main characters.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no, there really is children running around.
Well, and
Yeah.
I kind of saw it as my character kind of like didn't care what the dudes were talking about so much, and she's kind of just off doing her own little thing, and then she sees this kid, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to a kid,"
Mm-hmm.
and then
But
be
you-
sad, comfort it.
And your voice was awesome. You nailed
Yeah,
it.
I
That was
love
where I wanted
I
to,
leaned
I
over
wanted
to
to
her,
say
I was like, I love your voice.
That was
You're
so
killing that.
yeah, no, that was
You killed it.
impressive. It was impressive. Because this is Shay's second time ever playing D&D. Because
first
second,
being.
first being last time. But as
Yeah.
far as campaigns go, this is her first campaign playing Dungeons and Dragons. So
Yep.
she did awesome. She does awesome. It's been fun.
I have a question. What is your experience now having like a role-playing session? How was that for you? Did it feel awkward or like...
So at the beginning, I was kind of like, "Oh man, do I test out my voice that I think I want?" And then I was like, sure, why not? And then when we were in the temple and I saw the conversation that happened and whatnot, and then I kind of tried it then when I was explaining it to you guys, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. And then I wanted to try it more and just get out of my comfort zone, and that's why I talked to the little girl,
Nice.
kid, boy, whatever it was,
Mhm.
and that kind of sold it for me. So, not as scary now. I've done a battle,
Oh, go ahead.
and helped with my character and all that stuff. So,
And I appreciate the fact that even in that moment, I mean, I don't think I asked, what are you guys doing? I think Shay literally was like, while this is happening, I'm saying, reassuring the children. I thought that was awesome because it helped me build the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
yeah, and it kind of gave me, because through the beginning of it, obviously I was kind of quiet because I kind of sit back and kind of watch what other people do. That's how I learn. And so I noticed that Tyson was jumping in a lot and just saying, wait, I do this and that. And I'm like, oh, I got to do that. So that's another reason why.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I can do stuff.
It was awesome. And I think, again, another reason why I think it was heavy on Theseus, on Zane's character part, is because he and I worked really hard to establish who his character was and backstory in that sense, which helps, again, me build the world. And all of you guys have done that, and all of you guys will have the chance to increase the reality of the world by playing off of the backstories that you guys created. So,
Yeah, I'm really excited to get more familiar with this world too.
yeah.
And just
And I am too. This is...
I hear stuff and I recognize it, but I can't wait for
To
hearing
get
stuff.
into
And it's
the
oh,
world.
I remember when we were at that
Yeah.
place and we did this and that. And
Yeah.
I really like the information drops that you've been giving. I think that they're super cool. I find that super interesting to be oh, by the way, this is this. And when you told this story that Alondros was saying, I was like, that's awesome. You tell.
And part of
This
that
was
is just,
that's because I feel that's so
and
cool.
that's on Theros as a setting. You know what I mean? Theros.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we chose this campaign because not many people do it. It's not as well known because it's newer. I think it came out in 2020, but it's awesome, and it's a bunch of not well known knowledge, D&D knowledge, but all of it is just so amazing. And part of it is so that I can get familiar with it too. I've read through it, but it's still, I need to, talk about Perforos and his hammer. I need to talk about the Crownmore and things like that to establish.
That was cool. That was a really cool thing.
Our,
with the-
our
I really liked
listeners
that.
to establish for you guys what is known and what is not known. So it's as much for me as it is for you guys and the listeners. So, well, thanks for joining us. Oh,
Real quick, one last thing. I just want to give you props one more time because along with that, doing drops and stuff, I feel like you're doing it in a very just natural way.
Yeah.
We came out of the fountain, in session 1, we came out of the fountain, and there was the blindfolded statues.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I wrote down from the whole session because I was like, that's important.
Absolutely. I think she's going to be really important.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So, you're doing that in a very nice way.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
all I wanted to say.
thanks. Well, I think that's it for our after show. Catch us next week for episode 3, where they begin their adventures to Satessa. And we'll see you next time on PG-DND.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for our after show. We appreciate your support, and if you haven't already, be sure to follow our TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with everything PG-DND. We'll see you next week.